Have you ever set a trap for an office thief and it actually worked? I want to tell you about my late Uncle Dale, one of the smartest and funniest engineers I've ever known. This happened years ago, but it still makes me laugh, especially around the holidays. Uncle Dale was a senior engineer at a small firm in the Midwest and also taught engineering at the local community college. At work, he was unofficially in charge of the office parties, and to help cover costs, he kept a little tin box with a slot in it outside his office so people could drop in donations. Everyone knew about it, and over the weeks leading up to the company Christmas party, he'd seen plenty of co-workers tossing in cash. One afternoon, about a month before the party, he decided to check the box. It was empty, completely empty. He knew something was wrong. He'd seen people donating, so there was only one explanation. Someone had been stealing from the party fund. Not long after, the owner's nephew, Brad, came strolling around the corner, and something about his smug, watchful expression made Uncle Dale suspicious. Brad didn't have the best reputation in the office. In fact, most people couldn't stand him. He was pushy, rude, entitled, and worst of all, he was untouchable because he was the boss's beloved nephew. He knew how to skirt the rules just enough to avoid getting fired. Uncle Dale decided he was going to catch the thief red-handed. Using his engineering skills, he rigged up a hidden doorbell camera aimed directly at the donation box. Then, he asked a co-worker to loudly mention putting $100 into the fund. The bait was set. Sure enough, later that day, his phone pinged with a camera alert. Uncle Dale watched as Brad opened the box, found it empty, scowled, and hurled it against the wall in frustration. It confirmed what he suspected. Brad had been checking it regularly, probably taking whatever was inside. But instead of going straight to the boss with the footage, Uncle Dale decided to have a little fun. If there was one thing he loved more than solving problems, it was turning them into unforgettable experiences, especially if engineering students were involved. He went to his class and offered extra credit for a very specific project: design a rigged donation box that would make the most obnoxious noise possible when opened. The louder, the better. The students jumped at the challenge. A week later, they delivered. The box was fitted with the sound module from one of those greeting cards that plays music when opened, except this one blasted "Let It Go" from Disney's Frozen. And this wasn't just any version. It was cranked for maximum volume and glued in place with industrial strength adhesive. They even designed the hinge so the box couldn't be closed unless you pressed a hidden release button, meaning the song would just keep playing. The next morning, Uncle Dale put the trap in place and loudly announced that someone had donated $50 to the party fund. Then he went back to his office and waited. It didn't take long. Suddenly, Idina Menzel's voice rang through the entire office, belting "Let It Go" at full volume. Mixed in were Brad's grunts and curses as he tried and failed to shut the box. The noise drew a crowd, including his uncle, the boss. They all watched as Brad's frustration boiled over, and he hurled the box at the wall, leaving a dent. That was the final straw. The boss called Brad into his office. 15 minutes later, Brad walked out carrying a cardboard box of his belongings, his career at the company officially over. His personnel file was marked with "Do not rehire, do not recommend." That Christmas, Uncle Dale had a little surprise for everyone at the party. The hidden camera footage played on the big screen, showing Brad's failed theft attempt, perfectly synced to the soundtrack of "Let It Go." The entire room erupted in laughter. Brad lost his job, the party fund stayed safe, and Uncle Dale, he got the last laugh, all thanks to some creative engineering and a very annoying Disney song.